Hey, good morning. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Wherever you are on this beautiful planet, because we manifest it like that. Today I feel great. Today I feel connected to something deeper. Also, I feel connected to this idea that I don't want to get back problems by trying to bend over to make this video. So we're gonna stand up. Actually, yeah, we're gonna sit down. We're gonna sit down. So I feel like it's so important to really connect to the truth of who you are, because the world will always like overwhelm you with its suggestions about how you need to move, how you should be, how you should exist in the world. And a lot of the time it's because we're not connected to the self, we lose our compass. We don't have our inner guidance to listen to because we've learned to tune it out, because we're looking to be connected so much to other things, external things, and we don't have a lot of time to connect with ourselves. But it is so transformational. It's transformative. Whatever the word is, it's that. And it just alters how you see the world when you really spend time to connect with who you are. And it takes practice. It's a journey. There's no destination in getting to the place where you are ultimately connected to yourself 100%, because that might not always be possible. A lot of our purpose is related to helping other people. So it's going to require us to have some connectivity outside of ourselves. You see what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that we shouldn't invest in a lot of time with going internal, going inside of ourselves. Sometimes, though, we don't want to connect to ourselves because it's tough to face and overcome our fears. It's tough to recognize, like, oh, there's things inside of me that I have yet faced. Even though, and I'm aware, they're my awareness, but I'm just like, I'm not really trying to deal with that. I'm not really trying to experience that, whatever emotion that comes with that. So a lot of times it's so challenging to want to connect on a deeper level to ourselves, which is why sometimes we stay very surface in our interaction. And I'm no expert, right? This is really based on my experience, my educational background, all those things. That this is where I get my knowledge from. But I'm also aware that everyone has a different experience. And so upon starting this journey to connect to myself deeper, I really had to, one, block out everything, right? I had to block it all out. I had to stop watching television. I had to stop getting on social media so much. Those things can really cloud your spirit, can cloud your judgment. I had to really stop engaging in things that alters my mind state. I needed to be clear about how my mind works. What's on my mind most of the time? What is my mind like in a state of sobriety completely? From as much as I can, as much stimulus as I can avoid, I was trying to really be conscious about that. Just for a season, to see how I can connect to myself again. Even upon me graduating with my master's, I felt so disconnected from the degree. I felt disconnected from the work. And I was just like, why? Right? That's what I really thought I wanted to do that. And of course, those things had their benefit in my life. But upon exiting my master's program, I really felt like so disconnected from myself. I felt this disconnection because there was this cognitive dissonance. I was like, I got this thing, but I don't feel like I'm a social worker. I don't feel like, I don't feel like those things. I don't feel like that's my identity anymore. Like, it was almost like you get to the end, it's like, I don't even want it no more. Like, I don't even want it. Like, I waited for it for so long, and now it's like I have it, but I don't necessarily know if I want it anymore. And that happens, And I think for me, it was a calling to connect to myself. It was a call to shift, because even now to this day, like I was looking at my cap and gown, my cap from my graduation day. And I was just like, wow, like the only resistance I feel is the fact that I feel like I should care about this piece of this material. And I was like, whoa, shouldn't I care about it? Shouldn't it be something I care about? And I don't know, my spirit just said, no, it doesn't have to be. Or maybe you care about it, but you don't have to be attached to this idea that you got this thing, you did this thing. because you knew that that wasn't you connecting to the deeper self, which is ultimately your purpose, which is ultimately, I believe, all of our purpose is to connect to ourselves so that we can connect openly and honestly to others. And so, yeah, blocking out the noise, getting clear on what your intentions are for your life, right? That's number one, because you can't hear yourself when everyone else is talking. You can't do it. Number two, it's important to connect to ourselves because it just makes us better. It really does. It makes us better partners. It makes us better friends, because when we're connecting to ourselves, we don't rely on others' connections to make us feel a sense of wholeness. We won't do that. We'll really tap into this idea that if there's a lack in me, I got to go in me to get it. I got to go in me to feel it. I got to go to the source, right? To God or whoever you call your source to fill that void. And I know that my intention in my life is to ultimately connect to myself and only focus on how I feel, not selfishly, but literally, if you don't feel good, why are you in that situation? Right? We think we have to suffer at the hands of other people, when in reality, we don't, right? We don't have to sacrifice ourselves and feel like there's a lack or feel like there's a deficit in the way we do things. But that requires connection to self. That requires that you demand others also connect to themselves if they're going to be present in your life, because you don't want people to rely on you to make them feel connected. We are the ultimate connection to ourselves. Gambino, he's singing. I love him. Another reason why I feel like it's important to connect to the self, and I say the self because ownership is an interesting concept to me, right? Because we don't own anything in this life. We die. And it doesn't come with us. You know what I mean? So when we understand the magnitude of that reality, we're able to begin to do the work of detachment, of non-attachment. But I believe that our ultimate goal is to elevate our vibration, to align to the highest vibration, which is love. And so when we can understand ourselves and connect to ourselves to figure out what is blocking us from accessing the highest vibration, man, we grow. And it's really, I'm making it seem like it's so easy. It's not necessarily an easy thing. But you practice and you become better, you become stronger, you become more resilient when you practice learning how to connect to yourself. Even if you don't necessarily like what you might see, or you might not even like the connection you have to yourself, because we don't have relationships with ourselves a lot of the times, you know? So it's like, how can I deeply connect to this stranger, right, that I never really connected to? It's like meeting a stranger on the street and somebody's like, kiss them now, give them a kiss, tell them you love them. It's like, what? I don't know you, right? And sometimes we might feel alienated from ourselves, but really calling on those things that support our journey to finding wholeness and being connected to ourselves, like therapy and praying, meditating, you know, moving your body. Because like I always say, we store trauma in our bodies. I didn't say that, I didn't coin that, but it is said that we store a lot of our trauma in our bodies. So we get comfortable with movement. We get comfortable with expression. Speak your thoughts out loud, because sometimes we get stuck in our minds. We get stuck in these loops in our minds, and we forget that we're not speaking, we're not talking. We just processing all these things, making all these assumptions about our actions and the actions of others. But connecting to yourself is acknowledging, right? It's speaking. Like, oh, that's a thought that I feel like occurs often. Or I ain't never had that thought before. Where is this coming from? Exploring ourselves to the depths of who we are. And this is really based on this idea of self-study. It's studying the self, studying who you are, first understanding what you have learned, what identity you've taken on from outside external sources, and then unlearning that so you can uncover the layers. I think that it's important to find time no matter what, because that is the highest priority, is to elevate the highest vibration. The only way we can do that is figure out what is blocking us from that vibration. Sing, baby. So I hope you spend some time connecting to yourself this weekend, connecting to the folks around you, and keeping your heart open. Thank you so much. And please, again, subscribe to this channel. Tell people about this video if you found it useful and helpful. Share this video, and I'll see you next time.